If Chito Vera can beat Cory Sandhagen this weekend, he's going to be right up there with the top contenders in the bantamweight division. In this video, I'm going to cover Chito's best weapons against Cory Sandhagen, what he needs to do to get the finish, and what he needs to do to get the decision. So let's look at Chito's last few fights to see if we can find an opponent who's at least a little similar to Cory Sandhagen. And the one I want to pull from is actually his very last fight against Dominick Cruz. So the reason I want to look at this matchup is because Dominick Cruz has really good footwork. He's not as dangerous on the feet as Cory Sandhagen is. Chito had a very hard time timing Dom in this fight, but Chito slowly chipped away at him with straight leg kicks, straight teeth kicks, and straight punches as he was moving in, stunting Dom's movement and backing him up towards the cage throughout the fight. That's where Chito had his most success in that fight, whenever Dom was committed to forward movement or whatever Dom's back was towards the cage. Otherwise, Dom had too much room and too much mobility for him to keep switching angles and keep Chito guessing. So we all know Chito's known as a dangerous Muay Thai fighter, but he's also really good at getting takedowns in the middle of a firefight. He has a 42% takedown success rate in his entire UFC career, which is better than some really good wrestlers in the UFC. Some wrestlers have to go 6 shots, 7 shots before they get a takedown. Chito's able to do it almost half the time he tries. The point I'm making is Chito can't only win by a KO, he can very well get in the middle of a firefight against Cory, get a sneaky little takedown, and go for the sub. Has that in his weapon base. So we know that Chito can win by finish, both KO and sub. But how is he going to get a decision win against the high-paced pressure fighter of Cory Sandhagen? If you're liking this video so far, hit that subscribe button, upload every single week, and I'd appreciate it. So let's go look at Chito's career a little deeper. How many times has he actually won on decision? Historically, Chito tends to win by finish, getting 8 by KO, 8 by sub, and only winning 4 times his entire career by decision, with almost all of his losses coming by decision. So right away, that looks a little scary if you're trying to take a Chito by decision bet here. But in his last 4 fights, he was actually able to win 2 of them by decision, and one I want to look at closer is the Rob Font fight. So in the early rounds, Chito was getting pieced up by Font, and things were not looking good. However, Chito soon got his reads and began firing at the same time as Rob, landing some devastating blows. It was clear that Chito's shots were causing more damage, and this ultimately led to the victory. Now this fight showcases how Chito reads his opponents, taking more damage in the process, but usually landing the more impactful shots throughout the fight. Chito is a far more technical striker than I believe many people give him credit for. So looking at the round by round numbers, you would think Rob Font won that fight. Well, no, because Chito throws with more intent and more violence in every single one of his strikes, whereas Rob was peppering Chito a lot with the jab, not doing significant damage to Chito. And that's step 1 of what Chito needs to do here. Every single strike he throws at Cory needs to be with the fullest and meanest intent in his heart. He needs to want to make sure Cory cannot walk for the next month and a half after this fight with every single leg kick he throws at him, because not only is that going to begin to slow Cory down and change up his movement, make him more hesitant to engage, it's going to keep scoring with the judges, and that's going to be very important if this goes to decision. The problem with all that is Cory Sandhagen is really good at not getting hit. Chito's average strikes landed per minute is 4.28 in the UFC, and he usually takes 5.01 strikes per minute, so he gets hit more than he hits others, but again, he wins because his shots do more damage. On the side of Sandhagen, he hits his opponents 6.15 times per minute and takes 4.21. So he's actually created a very impressive gap in how often he's able to hit other opponents versus him. So when you match that up with Chito, who gets hit more than he hits others, it's a little bit tricky to imagine Chito being able to win. And that's true if Sandhagen's able to fight his fight. So what that means is Chito needs to stick to a very heavy leg kick game plan, and he needs to shoot when Sandhagen shoots. He can't play your turn, my turn, because he'll lose that battle. That's what the numbers show. He needs to wait till Sandhagen's trying to dart in and land his combo to throw a vicious leg kick, a vicious body kick. Make Sandhagen very hesitant to do that, right? He very likely will lose the first few rounds on the judges' scorecards, but over time, that damage to Sandhagen's leg and his core, it's going to slow him down a little bit. It's going to make him less willing to jump in and try and throw his volume, which allows Chito to become the aggressor, become the one leading the dance. And if Chito's able to do that by the end of round 2, he can take over, win 3, 4, and 5, doing exactly that. Now Cory's going to be playing the counter striker versus the one leading the dance. Not exactly his game plan that he usually goes in with. And Chito can continue peppering the leg, peppering the body, but as he's shown in his past fights, beginning to land a lot on the head. Chito can start getting closer, mixing in elbows, mixing in his own takedown attempts. As we've shown before, he can get a takedown with 42% accuracy in the middle of a fight exchange. If he can manage to do that and get significant damage on the ground for even 2 of these rounds, that significantly increases his chances to win. So his 3 key weapons weapons in this matchup are going to be his leg and body kicks, his takedowns, and his overall tenacity. And what I mean by that is he's not going away. He's able to take a malicious amount of damage to him, keep going, and fight his fight. If you can do all three of those things very well, this is how I see the fight going. I think Sandhagen will start out round one, landing more shots, Chito having to learn the timing and the rhythm, just like he did against Cruz. Things not looking so great for Chito in the first round. Second round starts, Chito starting to increase his volume of leg kicks, landing at a higher percentage, getting some of his own victories in some of these exchanges, not so much one-way traffic like it was the first round. And by the end of round two, Chito's landed 10 to 12 really good calf kicks on Cory, which is starting to slow him down. And then rounds 3, 4, and 5 come, Chito picks up the pace, landing just as much volume as Cory, but landing the harder volume, which is making him win these rounds, get a takedown or two mixed in the final 3 rounds, use that incredible cardio that he's known for, and either get a late finish or win a 49-48 decision by damage and takedowns. It's not going to be by volume. This is such a hard matchup to win volume-wise for him, so he's got to land more damage and he's got to get some takedowns. Again, that's only talking decision. If we're talking finish, he can get a head kick KO. He can take Cory down and submit him. Let's not kid that either. So looking back at this matchup after the research here, you can see Chito can win by finish, he can win by decision, he can win anywhere this fight goes. So if you are a fan of Chito Vera and you want to see him progress in the rankings, he's got a very good chance at doing so this weekend. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoy my style of content, I upload videos all the time, every single fight week. So subscribe and leave a like. I also just made a Discord server. So if you guys want to join the Discord server, it's a good place for us to talk shop. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I will see you in the next one.